You ever see those videos online where like 100 years of history just flies by in a couple of minutes? It's pretty mesmerizing, right? Well, today, we're going to deconstruct one of the coolest formats out there, the hyper-condensed visual transformation video. Okay, so let's just jump right in. How on earth do you tell a story that covers 115 years? I mean, from the very beginning of an idea all the way to some vision of the future. And you do it all in the time it takes to check your email? This isn't just a gimmick, you know? It's actually a powerful new way of seeing and understanding history itself. So, first up, let's figure out what we're really looking at. This isn't just a random slideshow. Nope. This is a whole new genre of storytelling. Kind of like a 5-minute history lesson built for the way we watch things now. So there's actually a name for this, a visual transformation video, and the two most important words there are rapid and sequential. It's that constant, smooth morphing from one image to the next that creates this incredible magic, this powerful feeling that you're literally moving through time. Honestly, thinking of it as a time lapse of history is the perfect way to put it, because you're not just seeing separate things flash on screen. You're actually watching the entire story of design, of technology, and yeah, of our own culture, just unfold right in front of you. And the scale they're working with here is just huge, 115 years. Being able to squeeze that much change into just a few minutes, well, that's the real appeal, isn't it? It makes this huge, complicated history feel like something we can actually wrap our heads around. Okay, so we get the format. But now we need to decode the language. The titles of these videos, they almost always use words like evolution or transformation. But what does that really mean when we're talking about this stuff? I mean, think about it for a second. What does evolution really mean for something man-made, like a car? A car doesn't adapt on its own like an animal does. No way. It's a direct result of human choices, new technologies, and what we as a culture decide we want. And this is where it gets really interesting. Are we seeing slow, steady evolution? Small tweaks to a headlight shape or making an engine a little more efficient? Or are we seeing moments of pure revolution, like the invention of the hybrid engine or the big shift to electric cars? Designs that were so different they changed the whole game. The cool thing is, these videos show you both. And the people who make these videos, they are masters of getting you hyped for what's next. They'll often end with a little hook, like this one from the source. Don't miss the next transformation. It's so clever because it makes the future sound like the next must-see episode of your favorite show. All right, so let's actually go on the journey that these videos promise. Let's break down this huge timeline, starting way back in 1935 and going all the way to 2050. A really good one of these videos breaks the story down into these clear eras. You can almost feel the vibe shift, right? From those classic, curvy shapes of the early days to the big, shiny optimism of the post-war boom, and then into the kind of boxy, efficient designs of the digital age. And then you hit a wall and step into what's basically science fiction. And this is maybe the most important thing to remember. The first part of the video, that's a documentary. It's based on real stuff that actually existed. But that last part, that's pure prediction. It's an artist's best guess about what's to come. So when you see a concept car for the year 2050, you have to ask yourself this. That super sleek, self-driving pod, it's not really about the year 2050. It's a reflection of our hopes and fears right now. Hopes for a cleaner, smarter future, and maybe even our fears about a world where we're not the ones in the driver's seat anymore. And that brings us to the final piece of this puzzle. And to me, it's the most fascinating part of all. These videos, they aren't just about the objects they're showing us. In a very real sense, they're a mirror. Because after you've watched all those decades fly by, you have this realization. You haven't been watching a story about engines and metal this whole time? Not really. You've been watching a story about us. Just think about everything that's packed into a car's design. It tells you about the economy. Were people feeling flush, or were they counting every penny? It shows you our taste. Were we into big and bold, or sleek and simple? It's a living history of our technology, our growing worries about safety, and our changing ideas about the environment. It's all there. So when you put all of that together, what are you really watching? You're watching us. These videos are basically a visual diary of our own journey as a society. What we cared about, what we dreamed of, where we messed up, and where we hope to go next. So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on.
If a simple 5-minute video can so clearly show us the entire story of where we've been, our whole collective journey in just a few hundred seconds, what does that say about where we're headed?